the wrestling world has lost a true icon. Verne Gagne has passed away at the age of 89. Welcome back, everyone. This is Jason, aka J Bone, of the Rambling About Wrestling podcast, here to bring you my thoughts on this huge loss in the um, in the world of wrestling. And if it sounds a little strange that I keep using the word wrestling, it's I have 2 points of this video. One, to pay a small but my own tribute to Verne Gagne, Mr. AWA. The second is to drive home a point about where he came from, who he was, and that we should stop being afraid of using the word wrestling. But first, about Verne Gagne, Mr. AWA, like I said, um, a lot of sadness around the world of wrestling. A lot of people paying their tributes, giving their thoughts and reflections on this, saying that this is a sad day because it's one of the last. One of the last. How did they say it? One of the last owners of the territories, the territory era. I guess I gotta say, um, which is true. Because back when there was, before WWE, ruled everything. There was the WWF, Mid South, Florida Championship Wrestling, the AWA, which was across the Midwest where I'm from, NWA from the South, and I know I'm leaving out a few, but those are like the bigger ones off the top of my head, and yeah, there's some iconic memories that go along with the name of Verne Gagne and where he came from. Um, and that's one thing that I think the fans of wrestling today, I'll say it again, they're so, they got to be spoon fed everything. They got to have everything 5 minutes ago. They don't take the time to learn about the history, where things came from, where moves came from, where moves started, who originated them, um, the classy part of wrestling, um, the gritty part of wrestling, not the flash and explosions and the lights and the videos and the media. I want to tell you about something I did today. And this may sound boring as hell, but I turned 41 the other day. And as you grow older, you try to, how they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, I try to defy that. Maybe not at every chance I get, but I still try to defy it here and there. So I did something today. In thinking about Verne Gagne, I took the time today, went on YouTube to see what I could find. And I say, oh, well, you just go to the WWE network. Well, yeah, you can do that. But, you might find the AWA special. It might be on there. I haven't looked, and um, they did do it some justice, gave it some good history points. The who's who was in the AWA. But as far as Verne Gagne himself, I didn't go watch a million matches today. I watched one. And I gotta say, if there is one match that will stick in my mind after I found this match, it was a match between Verne Gagne and, oh crap, now I'm going to forget who it was. Give me a second while I look it up. It was from 1952. Was Luthez. I apologize. Verne Gagne versus Luthez. I believe it's for the NWA Championship. In Chicago. And, the film is gritty. And it's almost, the video itself on YouTube is almost an hour long. The match was 2 out of 3 falls, and or a 60-minute time limit for the NWA Championship. This, I've watched a lot of wrestling in my life, dating back to when wrestling really became what a lot of people my age know it today, back in the 80s, when Hulkamania started, WrestleMania and all that, back in the 80s. Those are some of my first memories of watching wrestling. And with my cousin, going over to his house, watching the Saturday night's main event, that kind of stuff. And but this goes back a lot further than that. There's no pyro. There's no theme music. This isn't even in color. It's down and dirty. And like I was gonna say, by some, in fact, most fans' standards today, this match that I watched, almost an hour long, would have been considered boring. I'll admit, it did take some patience to watch it today. But you just sit back and just take it in. This is back from the 50s. This is back from a different time. Or, it was in black and white. And I'll tell you what was even more interesting in some ways, not in all ways, but just another big aspect of this. When you go back and you watch matches like that, watch the crowd. People are smoking in the audience, which is funny. Majority of the men are wearing suits. Women are very dressed up, wearing, special like Sunday dresses. People dressed up and really, for all these kind of events, they really treated it like something unique. I don't know anyone nowadays that gets dressed up in a suit that goes to one of these things. I really don't. I can't think of one. I'm sure there are some that do say they get dressed up or whatever and go to a WrestleMania or something like that. Maybe there are. But, I don't know any. It was just a different time back then. And I'll tell you, that it was a lot of wrestling moves. I'll say it again. Wrestling moves. And that's what he was known for. Certain holds that he was famous for that I learned in this match, or learned from watching this match, excuse me. The sleeper hold is one of his big ones. And he really nailed Luthez with a few times. And there was not a lot of punches and kicks thrown until about the last 10 minutes of this match when they really started, the match started really getting rough. Up until that point, I'd say about 80% of this match was just wearing each other down with wrestling holds. And man, you just don't see that a lot, you know? And if you do see it, people go, "Oh, that match sucked. It was so boring." But it's wrestling. If you're watching wrestling to watch wrestling, why is it boring? So yeah, you know, if you're thinking about Verne Gagne today or later this week or whenever, and you watch this video, I implore you, take the time. If you're a wrestling fan or if you are a wrestler and you're watching this video and you want to learn from someone about wrestling, go watch that. Go watch that video I talked about. Just type in Luthez versus Verne Gagne. Almost said Greg Gagne. No, that's his son. Verne Gagne versus Luthez in Chicago. Um, and yeah, it's a long match. But man, it was good. It was good to watch it. It made me appreciate the simpleness, the rawness of where wrestling really came from. And now I'm going to get to part 2 about this. I'll give the WWE credit. They put out a nice little tribute today. They even dedicated the King of the Ring tournament that concluded, it was part 2, on the WWE Network. They dedicated it to Verne Gagne. That impressed me. But that's the only part that impressed me. I tweeted something earlier today, and I'm hoping some of my friends who I tagged them in the reply tweet beneath it, however you say that. I hope they get the message, because it's important to me. I noticed that in the little tribute video, it kept saying the world of sports entertainment, and that he was a sports entertainer. No, he wasn't a sports entertainer. He was a wrestler. He wrestled. If you're going to talk about Verne Gagne starting out as an amateur wrestler, going on to be a collegiate wrestler, going on to represent this country, America, in the Olympics. Is there a thing in the Olympics for sports entertainment? Sports entertainment? Not that I know of. If you wrestle and you're representing the USA, you're going to represent the USA in the wrestling category. And then he went on to wrestle and then even be an owner in the AWA. Would it have been that hard, WWE? Whoever puts these together, you do a great job on these. But as far as making up the narration for this, would it have been that hard to say he was a wrestler? Is it so wrong? I don't watch the WWE to watch Dean Ambrose walk out on stage, shake his head, drool a little, and then walk to the back. I don't watch the WWE to watch Bad News Barrett walk out to the ring, sit on a throne, declare himself the king of the ring, and then walk to the back. I don't sit and watch the WWE and hope to God I can see my favorite announcer, Michael Cole, announce a match. What do you watch the WWE for? What do you watch Lucha Underground for? What do you watch TNA for? Or Ring of Honor? Or what have you out there? What do you watch it for? I watch it for the wrestling. What do you watch it for? This whole theory that the word wrestling is such a bad word. Can't say it in the context of the WWE. Sports entertainment. Whatever. It's wrestling. So that's my thoughts on this. It's a sad day. Lost a wrestling icon. A true wrestling icon. AWA wrestler, owner. Um, and he wrestled all over the place. You know, I'm not going to go through all of his achievements. Go look him up. Go educate yourself on it. Take the time if you want to. Wrestling. It's what I watch. It's what I love. You should too if you're a wrestling fan. That's my thoughts on this. Thanks for watching.